Hey everybody, it's CW again. This is my TBR for June. I'm doing 3 readathons this month. So there's gonna be quite a bit of books to go through. Um, there is the Myth Taker, the Feel Good-a-thon, and the Mini Magical Readathon. My son JD is going to be doing the Myth Taker with me. So I'm going to tell you what books he's going to be reading because he doesn't want to do that part. But when we do the wrap up at the end of the month, then he's going to go over the books and what he liked and what he didn't. So for Make Your Myth Taker, this is a month-long readathon where you get to pick a path to become one of 16 different characters. I'll link the instructions below. I am planning to be an assassin, but I'm going to start out as a royal spy, so I have the following prompts I have to follow. I have to read a book I heard good things about, so I'm going to read Passenger by Alexandra Bracken. And I'm not sure what this is about. This is kind of gonna mix in with my buddy read. My daughter, Adrian's gonna read this with me. So, I've never read an Alexandra Bracken book before, so this will be kind of cool to check out. Um, The journey is only the beginning, it says on the back. His gaze was so heavy he felt like he had dropped his hands onto her shoulder and was holding on for dear life. Etta, he began, his voice raspy. You. There was a movement just behind him, brown and black and white and gray, 3 men booking it down the street. The man from before, the one in tweed, was pulling something out of his pocket, charging directly at them. Small silver gun. Etta shoved Nicholas hard into the brick wall beside them. He stared back, dazed, just as a bullet screamed by, slicing the air between them. Run, Etta says, grabbing his wrist. Run. Well, I'm already intrigued, so I can't wait to start this one. And then the next book under the Royal Spy is a book with a cover red, purple, gold. So I'm going to read Such Sweet Sorrow by Jenny Trout. This is a young adult book. I think it's a retelling of Romeo and Juliet. Romeo believes he has restored Juliet to life, but he'll have to travel to the underworld with thoroughly infuriating guide. This one actually looks really good. I love Jenny Trout. I think she's a great author, and I can't wait to read this book and everything. So this one's next. And then I start on my assassin path, so I need to read a secret book, which no one knows what that one is until the end of the thing, and then I'll tell you which one it was. And then a quick read, which I picked Physiopoly, The Trouble with Fuzzy Wonker Fizz by Patrick Corman. Harold Fuzzy Wonker and his best good buddy Floyd will show you around. There's a lot of cool stuff in here, like Fuzzy Wonker Fizz and the Fizzies. Just don't give away their secrets and get ready to laugh so hard the soda will squirt out of your nose. So I just picked this one up, so I thought I would check that one out. So those are 3 out of the 4 books that I have to read for the Make Your Myth Taker. So you'll have to wait to find out what the other one is. Now, JD wants to be a pirate. So here's what it looks like. So I'm going to do the Royal Spy. So I'm going to read this one, and then when it comes to the secret book for the Royal Spy is when I switch over to rogues, and then I start on my assassins. JD wants to be a pirate, so he's going to read Featuring Water, read a book with a dark cover featuring a journey, and a bargain book, because he just wants to be a straight pirate. He doesn't want, he likes the way that one goes. So he has picked for featuring water, he picked McElliot's Pool by Dr. Seuss. And then he's for something with a dark cover, he picked The King's Stilts by Dr. Seuss. And then for a journey, he picked Rocket Raccoon and Groot. It's a Marvel graphic novel, and I think there's more than one book in here. It just says it's by Marvel, so I think there's a few. So he's reading this one. And then for his bargain book, he's reading Escape from the Overworld by Denisha Davidson, and I picked this up at the dollar store, so that's why it's his bargain book. So it's an unofficial gamer's quest. It's a Minecraft adventure. So then the other readathon I'm doing is the Feel Good-a-thon, which is June 1st to the 14th. And this one came with 10 prompts for reading and 10 prompts for self-care. And it's just a pick and choose readathon. So I picked 5 books to read, and I'll put the link below so you guys can see the instructions. But one of the prompts is High Hopes, and I picked The Evil Librarian by Michelle Knutson. And I actually picked this book up when I went to a book convention. It was the RT, which is the Romance and Teen Book Convention 2016. It's actually signed by her and everything. So I picked this one up. This one, I've been holding on to it, and I just can't wait to start reading it. It's supposed to be super funny and everything, so I can't wait. Oh, I didn't realize this was endorsed by Stephanie Myers. I didn't realize that. When Cynthia Rothenstein's best friend Annie falls head over heels for the new high school librarian, Sing can totally understand why. He's really young and seriously hot, and apparently thinks Anne would make an excellent library monitor. But almost immediately, Sin starts to sense that something about Mr. Gabriel isn't quite right. Maybe it's the creepy look in the librarian's literally mesmerizing eyes, or the weird feeling Sin gets whenever she's around him, or the blood and horns and giant bat-like wings that appear when he thinks no one is looking. Before long, Sin realized that Gabriel is in fact a demon. So this one's gonna be fun. And then for another prompt I picked was a short read, and I decided I'm going to read The Last Unicorn by Peter S. Beagle. And this is my favorite movie, and this is a graphic novel, and I can't wait to read this one. I've been waiting so long to read this one, and I keep putting it off and off. This is a graphic novel. I actually own the other one, the 40th anniversary edition, but I decided to go with the graphic novel this time, and maybe another time I'll read this one. Put that back in my stack of lovely stuff. And then to continue a series, so I'm going to read Dylan Hart's Sacrifice. This is the 3rd book in the Dylan Hart series. This is by R.M. Gilmore. It looks like she's still being chased by the voodoo lady. Dylan Hart has found herself in quite a conundrum, locked in her apartment with an unknown voodoo beastie hot on her tail. She's ass deep in death and is literally knocking on her door. Literally. Ooh. Well, I can't wait for this one. Man. There's some really good books. And then my buddy read is a buddy read, which is The Passenger, because I'm reading that with my daughter. And then a reread, and I picked Real Vampires Have Curves by Jerry Bartlett. And I'm reading this one because I read it years ago, and then I never picked up I was missing some of the books, so I stopped reading it. So I'm going to start over now that I've picked up more books. And what do you think what? Do you think all vampires are pale, thin, and brooding? Don't I wish? Me, I just happen to be bloated when a sexy Scotsman sank his teeth into me. So here I am, internally full figured. On the plus side, Gloria St. Clair can rock a corset, which is why I'm headed to Austin into a new business venture, Vintage Vamps Emporium. After all, I love cute clothes and I am an antique. So this one's cute. And then when I do my wrap up, will let you know which of the 5 self-care prompts I did. The 10 they had was read a book while cuddling something, stretch, do stretching, yoga, or go for a walk, engage your brain, meditation, accomplish something you've been putting off, taste fresh air, really open the window or outside, watch a movie that brings you nostalgia, eat, craft a meal you've been wanting to try, find something that makes you laugh, and share it with social media, tell someone you love them, write a letter to future you. Then the other one I'm doing is the mini magical readathon, which is from June 22nd to the 28th, and this is a trip through Hogsmeade. And I'll put a link below on this one too. Look at this. This is so cool. So it's a trip to Hogsmeade where you can visit 9 different places. The only rule is that you have to do the first prompt, which is how you get the Marauders map. We can't go to Hogsmeade without it. And then once you get there, you can either do all 9 places or you can pick and choose. I have 5 prompts I'm following for this one. So to get the Marauders map, you have to read a book with a map. And I picked The Light of Eden by Karen Hancock. And this is Abraham has dedicated the last 8 years of his life to becoming worthy to touch and tend to the sacred flames of Eden, and he expects to be blessed with this devotion and sacrifice. But on the eve of taking the vow that will irrevocably separate him from the life he was born to, as Abraham Calidar, 5th son of the king of Gur, he is betrayed by his spiritual mentor and sold into slavery by his brothers. Swept along by the winds of the new destiny, Abraham is forced to compete as a gladiator where he oppresses masses rally around his success. He discovers his suffering has molded him to something greater than he ever thought possible, to serve a purpose he never imagined. And I just found out this is actually Christian fiction. So this will be my first step into reading Christian fiction, but it comes... It does have a map though, so I'm good to go. Then I picked read a book that is part of a trilogy. So I picked the second book in the Nightmare series because it just finished the other one. And this is The Lost Lullabies by Jason Segel and Kristen Miller. And so many sheep, so little time. Charlie Lerner has a bad feeling. There's a new girl school, and Charlie and his friend have definitely seen her before. He's been hearing strange noises after dark, which is never a good sign, and the nightmares are back, and they're weirder than ever. So I have a stack of books going here. And then, so that's prompt 1 and 2, and then I picked prompt 3, which is to start a read with a cup of tea. What was that? Huh. Something fell. But I don't know where it went. Oh well. And then I picked prompt 7, which is to read a horror. And this is The Haunting of Clydesdale House by Selena Myers. And this is supposed to be about a house that's rumored to have rumors to have run wild for like years about what this house is like. And this guy, this not a guy, Hannah Watts comes into town and she purchases the house, and then she finds a capsule inside of it, and maybe they'll figure out what happened to the Clodston house and what's going to happen to Hannah. And I found this book because I followed this woman on TikTok, and she does some really funny TikToks and stuff like that. So I thought I would check her books out. And then the eighth prompt was to read a book written by a person of color, and I picked The Stars and Blackness Between Them by Joanna Pedersen. And this is an ebook that I borrowed, and it's supposed to be about two black girls, and they both live on different sides. Like one is, if I'm understanding right, it's supposed to be like one lives like in the neighborhood where everything's good, and the other one lives a different life. They live two different lives, but they're falling in love with each other. So I thought I would check that one out. And because June is Pride Month, I'm planning to read Ivy Adderson's Letter to the World by Ashley Herring Blake. And it's about a girl that she has like a journal, a sketchbook, and she draws pictures, and it's girls always holding hands, and it gets stolen, and now she's got to try and find it before everyone figures out it's her. That's my understanding. I don't know a lot, but it's an LGBT because the girl is coming out and discovering herself. So I thought I would check it out. So my plan is to read 13 books this month. So wish me lots and lots of luck. All right, bye. Oh, where's the stop button?